Welcome to 361 CC Radio. Today we have a very special guest in town, Dr. Maurice Portis. How you doing today, Dr. Portis?
Doing great, Brother Logan.
Tell me, okay, what brought you down here this week?
I was invited by the West Oso Education Association, mostly of West Oso alumni. They awarded me, presented me with an award for as an outstanding teacher at West Oso. I was there like from 1969 school year to I retired in 2002.
Okay, what are some of the great memories you have about being an administrator and also being a teacher there during the school years you've been there?
Yes, my involvement in being associated with great kids, having great parents to work for who love their kids and wanted to see them become successful and really sacrifice. And they would do anything to help us achieve those goals of their kids becoming successful.
Now, I heard stories that some of the students had never been out of Corpus Christi, Texas, but through your vision, you were able to take them across the nation.
Yes, we were fortunate. Like I said, we had a great group of kids and great parents and great administrators. And, you know, it's not about, a lot of times we get caught up into I, you know, and I we can't say it's not important, but should not be the major focus. Not about me, but about you and me working together to have success and achieve. Yes.
Now, you came here in what year?
I came here while we ended up in Corpus. We were in Hearn, Texas. I was band director in Hearn at Blackshear High School, and they integrated. And the superintendent told me that I was not going to be band director. I would have a job, but if I wanted a job, I would have to teach reading and general music. My wife and I both were teaching in Hearn. She was teaching PE at an elementary school, physical education to elementary students. And they loved their work there. That was the first year of integration. And of course, I wanted to continue as band director, but that position was not granted to me. And really, it was because they weren't ready for a Black, especially man, teaching all students.
Mm-hmm.
And the town was predominantly Black. And the white kids, Anglo kids, or whatever we want to call it, with limited number of Hispanic kids, Mexican kids we call at the time. So I didn't have a job as a band director. That happened to a lot of us, a lot of band directors. A lot of them, they kept them in these small towns and districts. And when they integrated, and they said they were assistant directors, but they were relegated to driving the bus.
Wow.
And repairing instruments. That was a job as assistant band director.
Now, Coming up, were there any special teacher that inspired you to be a teacher?
Yes, I can say all of our teachers at Black school. I graduated from Calvert Colored High School, and all of our teachers were Black and part of the community. They knew your parents and they knew your family and your history. And I came from a family of 9, so I had 4 siblings ahead of me. So they kind of paved the way, and we were all musicians. We all played in band, and we'd take the instrument home and we would play each other's instruments. That's how we learned to play varied instruments. Uh,
You have a very musical family then.
yes, my daddy was a gospel singer. He sang in quartets and groups, and every time we would go to visit at another church, they would call my dad up to do he was good at collecting, taking up collections. He was good at collecting that money, and they would ask him to sing a song. Yeah.
Now, in your family, you have other musicians in your family.
Yes.
And what do they play?
There were 3 of us as band directors. The boys, my older brother William played trumpet in the band. And when he went to Prairie View, he came back home playing piano. And at that time, we always had a piano at the house because my sisters were taught to play piano and sing. So the boys, playing piano wasn't cool at the time. Though I had an Uncle Grant Portis, who was a great piano player. He played the blues, and when he would come to the house and he'd get on the piano and play, and he could dance, and he could also play guitar. Yeah, yeah. I remember my Uncle Grant. We loved him because he was a musician.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, I would say my daddy and all of his family sang. Yeah. So we came up around singing. Yeah.
Okay. What do you play besides?
My first instrument was a cornet trumpet. And then the band director switched me to baritone horn. And that's where I found I had great success with the baritone horn. I liked it because it played the counter melodies. It played parts off of the melody on songs, especially the marches, the Sousa marches. And I love for the judges to say on that comment, nice baritone, a very fine baritone player. I loved when director read the comments of the judges' comments. I wanted them to say something about the baritone horn player. Yeah.
Okay. Now, also here in Corpus Christi, for many years, you was a business owner also. Several business you had.
Yes, I had a nightclub. It was called the Mark IV Club, named after the Lincoln Mark IV. I had the Mark IV, and I always drove Mark the Lincolns, and then I went to Cadillacs because of my homeboy and my mentor, Mr. Whiteside. He had the dealership.
Mr. Whiteside, my um, grandmother maiden name is Whiteside.
Oh, really?
And they're from Tennessee. So I met him a few times. It was a great honor to meet Mr. Whiteside. Yes. But
Yeah.
he is one of your mentor, I heard.
Yes, I still go use some of the things that he taught me. He was concerned about me. He knew my family, and he knew my brothers. Matter of fact, he sold cars to my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
Is that where you get the insight from? The one you always talk to me about?
Yes. We would talk about, and I use that a lot, what wisdom is. You know, a lot of people are smart, but they lack wisdom. And that's what I tell folks. That in the Bible, they don't talk about smart a lot. They talk about wisdom. And that's what you're referring to, is that we say wisdom is hindsight, insight, and foresight.
Yes.
Yeah. The opposite of wisdom of a wise person, they say, is a fool. You know, the hindsight, that's why we study the history. And the Bible is written like that. Insight of what's going on now, and the foresight, what we can look for. When you look at, they talk about the book of, it's the book of Revelation.
Proverbs?
Yeah, it talks about,
yeah.
What we can look to.
Oh, yes.
Happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, where can they hear your music?
We have, you can Google me, Maurice Portis. You can Google West Coast Soul band, jazz band, and the Portis brothers on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, on Google us.
Okay. Now I know we're talking about your business, but we left out one important business, and that was you had from people coming around from San Antonio, Houston, coming down here for your cornbread.
Yes, that's Portis Country Kitchen.
Yes. And I understand they have some of the best fried chicken in the state.
Yeah, I still meet folk and they talk about Portis Country Kitchen. And then Portis Country Kitchen came about because of a young lady who was one of my parents' kids, played in the band, the Thompson Twins. Joined as a freshman. If you listen to the recording of West Coast Jazz Band, as a freshman, was playing bass on that recording, on that album. And he was, as a freshman, went on tour to Europe with the band. Their mom, Miss Clarice, they called her mama, was a great cook, great chef, great baker. She could bake.
Oh yeah.
Could do any kind of cooking. She was she could plan the menus, and they call them dietitians. She was a dietitian.
Now, let's talk about your family, and are they musicians? What year were you born in?
I was born May 19th, 1943.
Okay. And you married?
Uh,
You've been married how many years?
60 years
60 years.
is
To who?
Dr. Verna Johnson Portis.
So somebody called the house, asked for Dr. Portis. How do y'all decide?
Uh,
Both of y'all doctors, huh?
well, if she answers the phone, she'll say, "This is Dr. Portis." And then when they start talking, she said, "Oh, you want to speak to my husband?" Yeah. And I'll do the same. Yeah.
Okay. Now your daughters do that. Are they musicians?
Yeah, they played in band. Angela played saxophone, and she was drum major at Tom Brown. And then the youngest one is Bernicia. She is the band director. She's an outstanding director and teacher. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Now, one thing we do on our program, we always give our guests a few minutes to talk about something that we did not do talk over. So right now, the camera is yours.
Yes. Most recently, I'd like to talk about last night.
Okay.
Uh, as I said, the West Also Education Association uh, alumni students that graduated from Prairie View, and we have a number of outstanding ex-students who've done well because of the fact that they got it like I did in my high school. They got a good basic education, learning the basic English, math, the sciences, the history, and the languages. Yeah, at, at all good schools. As a since I've become and retired and got into the age of experience, great experience, uh, I'm asked to come and like I was served on numerous boards I belong to and have been president of organization, which has given me a lot of experience about the process, the total process, education. I've served on the selection committee for the Texas Education Agency, where they select the top schools in the nation. I served on that board uh, where we would go in and kind of do an appraisal, an evaluation of a school district, and they had to have that was a criteria that they had to meet, you know, and equal opportunity for education was one of the main focuses that we concentrate on, that all students had access. And like the governor said, it's the business of the state, the responsibility to see that each kid gets a good education. And that's been one of the things that has kept me going. And as I said last night, I spoke to the group. I said, one of the greatest compliments that I received from one of my ex-students who was he ranked very highly in the Navy. He was an officer. And he said, "Thank you, Dr. Portis, for not letting us accept mediocrity." Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you to you because we've been friends for many years. You helped me out on several programs. John P. Key, and he
Yeah,
even bragged about your fried chicken.
yes,
You was there when I bought in Lee Williams.
yes.
Um, Vanessa Bell Armstrong. So I just want to thank you for your insight and your input, and also taking me under your wing to help guide and mold me to be a better person.
Well, I appreciate you. I'm asked, matter of fact, my wife asked me yesterday on the way down there,
Mm.
so how long you been knowing KD? Uh, and like, what brought us together? Well, what brought us together? We have a common interest and desire to promote,
Yes.
as to promote uh, unity and promote music, entertainment, and help people that need help,
Oh yes.
you know.
Mm.
And we don't do it for big to be recognized doing that. That's the kind of people we are.
Yeah. So we want to thank you for being our guest today on 361, and hopefully we're gonna do more. I know you live in Houston now, but we can get together on the phone and Zoom and have a great time.
Yes, I want to congratulate you again for continuing the work. I know how hard it is, and sometimes it can be frustrating
Yeah.
when and getting people to kind of do the things that we know should be done,
Yeah.
and people not uh, volunteering like we do. But we have to remember that we're special people. That everybody is not going to think like we think. Everyone is not going to agree with 100% of the things that we attempt to do. And there's a certain group of people that are negative, and that although we hope and ask and pray for support, it's not going to come from us. But as we keep on seeking, keep on working, people will tell you, and I tell you publicly. Yeah, recognize that tune. Yeah, we recorded that under the Portis brothers.
Right.
Yeah, of course, have a couple of my ex-students on like saxophone player there, Florencio Clarence Hubbard.
Okay.
On bass, that's Willie Yoko, who's still
Yeah.
fine musician,
And
singing.
don't forget about Mr. King.
Yeah, on drums, Weston King. Still performing. Yeah. If I'm playing somewhere now, I need a drummer, I'm gonna call Winston. No, he's gonna be dependable and he's gonna be efficient. What needs to be done. Matter of fact, those guys that are playing. Yeah, we've had a number. That's my brother Wilbur on the vocal. Yeah, and you're doing background. Yeah, I play saxophone coming up on this particular record. Recorded. Yeah. That was done at Freddie Martinez.
Oh, really?
Record. Really recording studio.
We're gonna go out on
That's
that note.
that's me playing the saxophone.
Are
Right
you playing sax? Right.
Yeah, you can. That recording is on YouTube.
And what's the
And
standard song that got picked up to be on a national CD? Different artists.
that one,
That's the
yeah,
song that got picked
yeah,
up.
yeah. You got it off of YouTube.
Mhm.
You got it in Germany,
All right.
from Munich, Germany.
Okay, then. Once again, we want to thank Dr. Portis, my friend, my big brother, my mentor. Anything I need to know, I go to him first. And we want to thank you for being our guest today. And we're going to go out with some right now. From Portis Brothers, Summer Love.
My brother William was band director in, in Bryan, Texas, and at Cashmere in Houston. They just recently in Bryan, they just invited him back and
Okay.
for an appreciation award to
Congratulations.
black students. Yes, he arranges and writes and arranges most of the tunes that we do.
All right.
Yeah, even the lyrics. My brother William has a book that you can purchase on Amazon. It's entitled Texas Unsung. And some of the things that I'm saying here today is mentioned in his book. He talks about how we were raised, our teachers and our parents.
Well, we're going to bring you back on here, talk about growing up on the cotton field.
Yes.
All right.
And my brother Erwin, who passed away a few years ago, has a book.
Okay.
You Are the Answer.
You're the answer.
He's a
Sound like a
motivator.
Okay.
Yeah.